discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Good afternoon, family. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Good evening from my end, 18 minutes past the top of the hour. Welcome to another episode of the Africa Today show. My name is Joby. To the first-time listeners, returning listeners on our YouTube, Rumble Beachwood, on the radio station, and to those who shall be catching this, of course, on Spreaker and Spotify. Hope you guys get to enjoy. Welcome. Well, today we did promise you to cover up a show regarding, of course, the ancient empires.
I ain't even live yet, Joby. Afternoon.
Come on. Oh, afternoon. What's up with your phone? I told you to buy a new phone. It's not even buzzing a message. What's wrong with you?
Why are you always talking shit?
I'm not talking shit. Am I talking shit? That's the only thing. Being honest. I don't think that's shit. I don't
You always talking shit. Talking about me.
How is it?
Oh, with your phone. You buy a new phone, and you get no message, get no beat. I probably was busy. Let me see. It probably came to other.
I know you were busy. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding.
Nah, you didn't send me no message.
I did.
Nah, you didn't. Now look at my phone. No text on there.
That's something for real. I'm not joking. That's literally you. That's on your. That's
I don't think. Yeah, it must be because I damn sure don't see no text.
Yeah, because I see you texted about Candice Owens. I don't even know. You texted something about Candice Owens. But anyway, karibuni sana family. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. And of course, welcome to another episode of the Africa Today show. Kindly hit that like button, subscribe if it is your first time, and also ensure you download our app. Black Hot Fire Network is the name on the Google Play Store. Get yourself these amazing supplements we have on our BHFN Sports page. They're all organic. We have an active apparel store. You can get yourself amazing t-shirts, hoodies, beanies with our logo. Kindly show your support. It's been years, Black Hot Fire on stand, so at least with the information you've been fed over the years at least. So you show something if in case you can't donate. Buy yourself then something. Maybe if you don't want to give up your money, let your money get you something from Black Hot Fire Network. But yes, karibuni sana. Today,
And
like I said, we'll be talking about the great civilization. And of course, I tried my best to do research on all this, but I could find what I could find. So we'll be getting into that. But before that, I'll share this video right here, coming from a Kenyan youth who's talking about how they want to literally sterilize, how they're focusing on just sterilization, something we mentioned earlier. I think we saw last week where we saw one of the women representative who say that women need to be sterilized. We need to focus on how women can get more family planning and all that. We've seen again another case of deworming launch that is supposed to be happening in schools. And now today I was reporting about the HIV and AIDS drug test, which of course did happen. That is, I think, in 2023 late or early 2024. And it's officially going to be here by 2026 in January. So the agenda literally is still very much on, but I do love the debate going on right now. It's amongst the youths. It's no longer amongst our older generations who are trying to give us same old narratives of lies. These people are here, Africa, we do not know. What is the agenda? That is the discussion right now amongst the youths. Why is it that these people want us to, always follow up what they want us to do? Like the US come and says, Kenya, we want you to reduce the number of birth rate. Who are you to tell us what to do? Who told you we want for you to care how many children a woman is going to have? Nobody came and knocked on your door, asked for a piece or a bowl of ugali.
they're saying that because they're dying out and they know now they can't. Now to go to war, they'll lose because you have the numbers finally. See, Africa went through a Holocaust, guys. Really, 1,400 years of the white Arab slave trade and the European slave trade that killed at least 100 million Africans. So the continent was depleted. So times 100 million with all those babies, Africa would be like 3 or 4 billion strong by now. So that's why they're coming, because it's about power. There's a power shift happening.
Mm-hmm. So let me share this video of this lady.
Straight year. More boys than girls born for the 10th straight year. Kenya has recorded significantly more male births than female births in 2024, a trend that experts warn could affect our future social balance. According to the 2025
How? That's the question.
Economic Survey released yesterday, 570,807 boys were born last year, compared to 539,706 girls, resulting in a sex ratio of 106 males for every 100 females. This marks the highest male-to-female birth ratio in over a decade. KNBS notes that more boys than girls have been born every year since 2015.
Which is rare. Which is rare because usually the women are the default birth rate. So if you stop taking these VAC, INEs, nature always balances itself out. So it's not disturbing. Stop allowing people to come with you. So you need this shot, you need that, you need this. Nature will balance it out by itself. Just don't take none of the things they want to do to you, and nature will balance itself out. And the women, the girl child will start being born more because women are the default. Everybody's a girl first before they become a boy in the womb.
Also officially recorded intersex births, with 9 intersex children registered in 2024, up from 4 the previous year. Now, I'm very happy that they are recognizing intersex children, but it's very interesting to try and see what this trend of more male births than female will do to us. In places where that has happened significantly over time, especially in cultures that unfortunately would... I'm trying to find a sensitive way to say this.
Pedestal male births over female.
Pedestal, yes, to the extent of aborting fetuses that were female, or even killing newborn girls. Those societies are now facing some real problems. They have big trafficking issues because obviously there's a racial problem. They have big loneliness epidemics and so on and so forth. Not saying that's what's going to happen here, but it does bring about some issues. There's a
That-
sociologist called Dr.
it's not going to happen still because it's still Kenyan women outnumber Kenyan men and African women still outnumber. So it's still not an issue because if you get rid of the borders, you still got way more African women than you got African men. So this is a non-story
Yep.
completely because not about Kenyans, it's Africa. So you got way more African women
Right.
on the continent than you got African men. So this is a non-story. This is not even a problem. Not a problem. Especially when you have one African open up the borders, you got more women on the continent than you got men. That's just a fact. That's why you got a big baby boom. Why you got a baby boom happening where? In Africa. Any place else? No. So this is a non-story. You're trying to worry about. I don't know who's pushing this agenda, but this is a non-story. Do this for me real quick.
Okay.
As Google say, what is the population in sub-Saharan Africa of women to men or men to women? What is the breakdown of population of they say sub-Saharan? I do Arabs. Sub-
The, in sub-Saharan, the female population slightly outnumbers the male population.
of course.
Um,
So then you
in
go.
2021, women represented 50.14, sorry, percent of the region's total population, with a male
Okay.
to female ratio of approximately 99.4 to 100, according to the World Health.
Okay. So 94. There you go. So women still outnumber men still by 6% then. So Joby, that's a non-story. so in black so in black Africa, the women are the majority. And
Mhm,
so there's no worry about anybody going extinct in Africa.
mhm.
so that's a non-story.
Their concern, of course, they
Mhm.
know that the youth get the majority, and of course, times are changing. That is something also now that is happening. The times are changing. We are the generation now who are going to raise our children with making them understand what politics is about, why politics matters, why you need to question everything, and that is, of course, what they're really scared of. And this is why we've seen them target the women, like what I was reading earlier
Of
today
course.
about this drug test, and everything is about protecting women and
Hmm.
adolescent girls. Like, we understand where the focus is. So of course this is an agenda they're trying to push to make believe, or Africans believe, that we need to stop and focus on their need to focus on their family planning agendas, completely falling into the narrative of what how they want to control, which is of course take control of the population. And by
Of course.
completely majority of you, it's not like they really want to protect you.
No, they don't care.
Nyanga,
Yeah.
who wants a
And the
sustainable
idea that they care, you will see they don't. Africa's undeveloped. Africa's kept in poverty. So there's been no caring.
Exactly.
plus could lead to a mismatch in the marriage market. If the trend continues, we may see more eligible men than women, which could disadvantage men who are not economically well off. She also adds that could unconventional.
Well, I believe even if you look at literally back in the days, it's not even a matter of mismatching the marriage, because it's just that right now economy is really really tough. We've seen our men who are able to,
Exactly.
polygamy very well, and carry it in the right
Can't
way by
they
taking care of
can't afford no polygamy in this capitalistic system, Joe. But that's over. That's
that.
rare.
Exactly. So if you're talking about probably right now the lack of equality in the society, which has been running for so long, that could be the problem. And of course, women who are being also diverted mentally to, I'm independent. I don't need a man.
Yeah.
Those kind of things, which is
of
of
course.
course
Of
being.
course. That's the Rockefeller feminist nonsense.
Mhm.
Shout out to my Zimbabwean young ladies who understood what it was. You guys, I'm still shocked that all these years you guys told me what was going on and you understood it. I was like, wow. Yeah, we know what they're doing. We get it. Okay, shoot. Go ahead, Joe.
Could be a result of this. We may begin to see younger men forming unions with older women, often single mothers who seek companionship and social identity through marriage.
This is already happening. Also, these patterns, it's interesting. You talk about disrupting the, marriage or families. These are things, indications already happening. There's data showing not as many people are perhaps opting to get married. And according to Parenting on page 1, I know we have 2 more stories to get to, why I chose to have only one child. So also child-free is on the rise, and what they call it team one and done. And one child.
That is because of the economy, literally.
And because of the economy, exactly, Joe. It's because of the economy. And exactly, it's because of this system of economics. No one can afford to have children. It has nothing to do with me wanting to have one or not want to have one. I can't afford to have one. I can't afford to feed it, clothe it, and house it.
Exactly. Because even housing yourself, it's also becoming a problem. Trying to get food on the stores, everything is going super high. The prices are just hiking up and all that. Right now, we have in Kenya people complaining because of the fuel, which just rose drastically, and we've seen the president and other members.
What rose drastically, Joby?
Petroleum yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've seen literally after this happening, a few hours, the president and the rest of his cabinets and other officials have been added salary, a drastic add of salary again, like a big chunk amount of salary. And this is what we were talking about earlier. These people
they're getting raised salary, Joe, but everybody's starving. Exactly. It doesn't even make any sense because it's criminal. It's criminal. Okay. How you raising your salary when people's stomachs are touching their backbones, and your GDP is nothing but 100 billion. You can't even substantiate why are you getting a raise in salary when you haven't raised the living standards of none of your people.
Well, Ruto brags that our economy has grown, It is the best, literally, it's the 6th largest economy. Kenya is the 6th largest, the 6th growing in economy that is in Africa. And
6th growing economy.
In what? You ask yourself in doing, what are we doing to grow even to show
that's
that
a lie, because you don't produce it. And economy means that you produce things to sell, to get. So what is Kenya producing that the world is buying? So since he cut through all the big talk, what do you produce in large amounts that the world buys? That's an economy. So what is he saying? So when he says that, okay, besides tea, like the lady told you, our tea don't even make any money no more. That was Lynn Googie said, a lady. Yeah. So you can't use tea. You can't run a country off of tea. Okay? You got to have a bunch of stuff that you export. Go ahead, Joe.
Exactly.
Child only is on the rise. So you're right that the scales are tipping across the board.
What's causing this?
That's a great question.
If you look at
Mama Boys.
Mama Boys.
How do you?
Oh my God, you're a Mama Boys.
Yes. I was going to say I can only relate to the extent that I'm a mother of boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I don't
how
know
is
what
it
else.
that we're seeing more and more male births? What would cause this? What is it that would lead to this?
This ain't even a big deal. This is all nonsense talk. Because as Africans, you see, as a continent, you're not under missing boys. As a continent, the women are still the majority. So you're fine. This is a topic that this is nonsensical, but you're not going to say that because your people don't know it. It's nonsensical. The women still outnumber the men on the continent, on Black Africa. They still outnumber the men. So there is no issue right now. Of course, they're trying to make it an issue, but there is no issue. Of course, but you'll be the same morons allow these people to come in with all their VACCINEs for everything and knowing that that's the problem. But they're trying to sterilize women. They don't want no black boys or black girls.
Well, it's like you said, it's not a problem. It's not actually a topic we should be having because we never had any problem with
it's nonsensical.
10 kids. Like I come from a family where I think I have 8 siblings. I don't know. I can't even count my siblings all of them. My dad does others outside that I probably don't know, and those who I know.
Of course.
And,
There you go.
yeah, when you go back to literally the age of you guys, probably you count how many siblings you have. Like our mothers had the capability of taking care of 5 to plus children, and that was not even a problem. Like, and the funny thing, I think, understanding also, despite the black oppression, we survived. That's the crazy thing. Despite the black oppression globally, families were still able to sustain themselves and grow up with
That's
love.
why they're mad.
Yep. And still maintain that black love within the family and grow up with a really straight up family. But today, again, just like I've said, of course, they're trying to make it a problem because they're trying to push this into their agenda of controlling the population, reducing the numbers.
That's why they're pushing what agenda did you show yesterday, Joe, on your show? The agenda that they're pushing in. What is that? To the AU. The what?
The LGBTQ.
Yes. So with that, there's no babies being born, Joby. Exactly. That's why they're pushing that agenda.
Not gonna accept that. We're not gonna accept that. If you wanna do men, you take your men. Let them stay there with you, because these are no longer men. These are just rotten people, and we can no longer have those kind of people in the society or in the country fighting for liberation. You've already been liberated.
That's why they pushing it. That's why they pushing it so much. Jesus Christ. That's why they push that so much. That's why they push it down her throat. They force that, push it down your throat. But they're not going to the Asians, doing to the Asians like that, or the Arabs like that. Because they want them to survive because they're mostly white. They want black people. Everybody keep going through your throat. Oh, LGBT, keep pushing it down your throat. Who told you no? Respect our damn beliefs. Go away.
We don't see the Chinese, the Japanese, nor Indians.
Exactly. None of them do. Yeah, they don't go to them. They don't go in there forcing them, Joby.
And we've seen countries like Russia and the rest that literally, probably the people who are caught up in the narrative, they have also put up really straight restriction. You found in this is what is going to happen. There's consequences for all those actions, because this is a narrative that is very, very rotten that they're trying to push. Like you said, it's going back to the pedophilia, which is super, super crazy. The dots, if you connect them, it's super, super insane. But let me share
it always leads to that, Joby. Go ahead.
Let me share what we tried to say, and of course understand it, just like what that lady Janet Mbokwa said right now, which is very true. Most of the youths are choosing not to have babies, like for real. These are discussions we're having amongst most of the circles I'm chilling with, and you hear people say, hey, man, I'm not even ready for marriage, leave alone even relationships, leave alone even a marriage. Even relationships are hard to sustain, because if you don't even especially have an understanding person who's just there to drain you, you don't really want that. And shout out to a woman in one of the influencers I saw today. She's saying, in today's age and century, if you're still bargaining about who pays the bills, if you can't just help each other pay the bills, then you really have a lot of growing to do. And I really support that too, because I do believe, especially either in relationships or marriage, if you can't have a partner right now who's gonna help you in one way or another, someone who just wants to benefit, like it's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna really go far. So if you look at what she said about most of our generation not wanting to have kids, is because of, you look at our parents, literally what they did with us, not just even having enough funds when giving back to us. When I'm asking for this, you want to keep on yelling, or you're mad. Am I the problem here? I'm not the problem. You didn't fight hard for the economy. And I don't want to be caught up in that situation of being stuck in the same old narrative of economy, of people stealing and pocketing funds. And I'm going to have kids, and then they're going to go up in the same cycle of begging, asking for jobs. That has to change.
Exactly. You gotta make it society conducive to have children. You gotta make a society conducive to having children. I can't have children. I'm always in struggle mode. I'm always in survival mode.
And sadly, I literally pity women who have not understood that right now. You're getting pregnant anyhow, by anyone, by a bum person, and you think,
when you get done with this video, Joy, play the video I just sent you it just explains exactly what you just said about being liberated.
Okay, let me share this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Said Kenya's economy is now the 6th largest economy in the world. Not in Africa, sorry.
Yeah, in the world.
6th largest.
You like, yeah, you know that's a lot. In the world, are you crazy?
Not even sure about the information. Like you can see he's done nothing for his country, so he doesn't even know where he stands. He's confused, trying to push again the same narrative of we're doing something, still in. That's why we need salary increasements. Don't worry about it because the economy is growing. Where? In which sector? People are losing jobs more. The people,
exactly.
And then what he keeps on
it's
bragging
not
about.
It's fake growth, Joe. When they say something's growing, it's fake growth. You know, because he's not creating it. To grow an economy, you must create jobs. You must have job growth in industry. You must produce something, and that brings in jobs, and that causes growth.
Ruto said he has given more youth job than any other president. He has transported 400,000.
And the crazy talk don't work no more. Like the lady told you, you got people in your street. You know, you can make AI videos. That's not gonna stop the Kenyans being in the street. You're just the lies are just insane. You're a pathological liar. The lies are crazy. If you create those jobs, your youth wouldn't be in the street saying you must go. Exactly. One is true and one is not. It is the path. They so used to doing this, and usually the people accept it. They doesn't realize that you've already jumped the broom. You're in the crazy town. You're just gonna say I've created more jobs than any youthful jobs than any other president. Then why are they in the streets and you shoot them in the head?
Exactly.
Crazy talk.
Shoot them on the leg.
In Africa, it is a fact. It's not a rumor.
It's not a propaganda.
It's not propaganda. It is a fact.
If you were growing an economy, you wouldn't be shipping your people to go be slaves made. My fault. Not slaves made in Middle East countries. If your economy was growing, you wouldn't be have a big thing of people trying to get to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, Qatar to get jobs, moron. What you saying doesn't meet the reality on the ground. Okay? You got old people talking about they want to get money, get their passport, to go be somebody made in your great economy. Go ahead, Joe.
So I'm looking at, of course, Google. I had to go deeper, and of course, Google says the Kenya economy currently ranks as the 6th largest in Africa. This position is based on nominal GDP, with Kenya surpassing both Angola and Ethiopia. And more details breakdown include the recent shift where Kenya has moved up from being the 8th largest economy to the 6th in Africa. For doing what? For being corrupt?
They're not, no, Joe. They're not real economy because all African countries are poor. So so they'll say this without saying, but it's not real because all African countries are poor. So and they don't have any, and there is no real economy in Africa. So that's why Burkina Faso them are going to surpass Kenya's other countries because they're creating an economy. They're creating one from scratch. Everybody trying to kill them, right? They're creating a real economy. So, go ahead, Joby.
So they're saying that, of course, the main reason why Kenya has been put in this position is because the IMF, okay?
Exactly. So these are you got loans. So it's not a real economy. It's all fake. It's smoke and mirrors.
But yeah, of course, exactly what he's saying. It's a lie, telling us that we don't see any growth in the country. You're saying more Kenyans should die more than being given job opportunities.
Yeah, because they count loans, Joby, as growth. That's a loan. That's not, you didn't do nothing but beg for some more money. That's not, you didn't grow the economy, but that's how the scam works, Joe. It's a scam. It's called an accounting scam. You get to say, we got more money in the country. You haven't made no more money. You borrowed money. You didn't make any jobs to make more money.
The domestic resources, remember, he said domestic resources. Don't forget that. We're using our domestic resources. Come on. Right, Jason in the building. Karibu sana. Shout out to Emil as well. Hope you're doing good today. He says, is this video buffering for everyone else? It keeps buffering on my end. On the internet is good. Let me know, because my internet I know was really
Joby's glitching. Joby's buffering. I thought it was me for a while. I know it was in a good area this morning. I said that's Joby. So yeah, Joby's glitching a little bit.
Sorry about that. We'll check WhatsApp, because I noticed that during the Rhythm Scoop show. So I thought it was back and okay. But this one says probably have to just reset your phone, Emil. Oh, for you, Jason, I'm okay. I don't know. Maybe it's Keith and Emil. They need to change their phones or something.
That's Joby glitching.
Says Obama went to Kenya and South Africa during his presidency, promoting that crap. That's the same person who unalived Gaddafi. And I also see Joe Mosquito Karibu Sana. Hope you're doing great. In London, hope you had your porridge today. And I also see says it's the largest economy. It's the largest economy in Kenya. I think that's what he means. It's the largest economy. Oh, Kenya is the largest economy.
No. He said it's the 6th largest economy in Africa. That's what he means. Can't the 6th largest economy in his own country in Africa.
He's putting sarcasm. That is some sarcasm there. I also see Emily says, I have an African name. My last name is Abaya. Okay. If you look at the comments on the posts that
all right.
If you look at the comments on that post Joby is showing you, there is a word similar to my last name, Wabaya. Oh, okay. That's Wabaya actually means bad people or a bad person.
Sorry, email.
I don't know about Abaya, but I know Abaya means bad people. These are bad here. But I also see John was his Ruto doesn't even bother using big grammar to confuse the masses. I know, and that's how little.
So he doesn't even use good grammar to confuse the masses. Right? He not being from Kenya. This funny part. He's not gonna win no English contest.
He's not.
You ain't gotta worry about Trump saying, Ruto, your English is so good.
Oh, I bet he's one among the people that Trump was saying, I got some people who come here and they can't speak good English.
Exactly.
Why does he like to speak good English like that?
Hey, Joby, play the video I sent you right now. This explains what you just said. This explains exactly what you just said. It explains it.
Let me cue it right now. Okay.
Explains exactly what you just said.
Okay. Shout out to Trump. Trump, you gotta love Trump. You gotta hate him and love him at the same time.
Trump is a moron.
Okay.
Exactly what Joey was just talking about right here. Listen closely, guys.
It's your favorite crazy Christian video.
God's going to put a cancer in the butthole. God's going to put a cancer in the butthole of every sodomite butthole. Get cancer in the butthole. It'll burn and burn and burn. They won't be able to sit down because of the burning in their butthole. He can't sit down. He's got a burning in his butthole. He's got a fire. He's got a flame coming out of his butthole.
If you're doing sodomy, Joby.
Your butthole. You're going to have a flame coming out of your butthole. If you thought that AIDS was bad, you ain't seen nothing yet until you see the flaming butthole. Your butthole will be flaming, and you will not be able to sit down until you have a flame coming out of your butthole. And there'll be people walking around all over America with flames coming out of their butthole. Everyone who takes it up the rear. Everyone who has a penis injected
Oh my
into
God.
their butthole.
Somebody can't take your pasta. Oh my goodness.
Everyone takes it up. Everybody takes a penis in the butthole. Got a flaming butthole, Joby.
It's your favorite crazy Christian video.
Say it again.
God's gonna put a
And pause it. This is real. This is not AI. This is a real moronic preacher in America. This is not AI. This is real.
the butthole. God's gonna put a cancer in the butthole of every sodomite. Every sodomite butthole will get cancer in the butthole. It'll burn and burn and burn. They won't be able to sit down because of the
burn and burn and burn and burn in your butthole.
He's got a burning in his butthole. He's got a fire. He's got a flame coming out of his butthole. God's going to have a flame coming out of your butthole. You're going to have a flame coming out of your butthole. If you thought that AIDS was bad, you ain't seen nothing yet until you see the flaming butthole. Your butthole will be flaming and you will not be able to sit down until you have a flame coming out of your butthole. And there'll be people walking around all over America with flames coming out of their butthole. And everyone who takes it up the rear, everyone who has a penis injected.
Yeah, be careful not to have a burning flame on your butthole. So please, be careful out there.
You watch yourself, Joby.
Don't do crazy things, you know. It's not really that serious. This is all an illusion, you know. It's not. You don't really have to become a billionaire and a millionaire.
That flame ain't gonna be no illusion.
I'd rather die in Kibera than have my butthole dug, you know. I'm okay, man. That's crazy. Whose pastor is that? But anyway.
Bastards are crazy. I told you, you go to church, listen to this crazy bastard just talk crazy about flaming buttholes.
He's speaking facts, because apparently even right now, if you look at now today's pastor, most of them are getting their battles done. Being honest, you know, they're also in this now whole scheme too. You know, some of our pastors, this is why you can see them protecting politicians. Why, if not your butthole not being done? What's up? You know. So, anyway,
what do you mean he hates black people? He tell you don't do sodomy, General Mosquito. He goes about hating. He tell you not to be taking it up the rear. You gonna have a burning butthole. That's what he's telling you. Tell you don't do it. Don't do it, General. Say no. Say no to big penises in your anus.
Mm-hmm. And I also see John Mosquito says Trump has been summoned by England. Summoned to England by Queen Charles. Maybe he's about to receive the same treatment he gave the African presidents. Let's see. But also see he says
he not putting Trump on no bus. Are you crazy? Trump ain't getting on no bus by no King Charles. Go ahead, Trump.
He says that fake pastor had a YouTube channel back in the day. I used to watch.
Oh, he did? Who said that?
John Mosquito.
Dang, see, we already knew. Okay, so that's why you knew him. Yeah, I never seen him. You know, I don't follow no church and that. I just seen that come across my TikTok feed and start laughing. Flaming butthole! You have a butthole for God. God's gonna get you. You out here sodomizing.
Crazy. But I also think that he really hates black people. That's
okay. I didn't know. Okay, yeah, I think. Oh, is that guy from years ago? I think we talked about him, Jim Mosquito, maybe like 7-8 years ago. Then he was saying crazy stuff about black people. I think that's the same guy, but I forgot about it.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, as we get into the main conversation of the day, we're supposed to talk about, of course, these ancient great civilizations. Yesterday, we were looking at the Yankee Stadium and how it was built, and we listened to the video Keith made me share about the AI explaining all that. And of course, most of you say that this is not making sense or the story is not adding up, but I tried to dig up a few details on most of the, of course, hidden empires, histories. So as you get into it,
All right.
maybe
You
you can.
say you say hidden architecture that doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
You know.
So I'm gonna start since I started with the
All right.
Tartarian, which of course is one
Okay.
of the great
Go ahead.
civilizations. I want to, which this white guy is explaining how it was built, of course, by black people and the details it contains.
This is gonna blow your mind. This is the real Tartarian original family lineage. Okay, this is going back really far. We're looking at like 11th, 12th century. That is still, I think, the Habsburg War. It's amazing. The shield. The shield is the same thing. It's the same shield. He's also carrying something that I've seen in China, because I have traveled extensively around East Asian countries, especially Hong Kong and Taiwan. That is a very important urn that is on top of all the Taoist temples. It's crazy. That it actually is also associated with one of the three kings that visits Jesus. Incense, I think one of them was gold, incense, frankincense. And this is the Coburg. Must be around the 8th century when Europe was invaded by the Moors, the Tartarians, or the Persians. They built their buildings with mortar. A combination of both empires' names, the Moor and the mortar. Nobody's ever said anything to me about this. I worked this out pretty much myself, so your intuition doesn't matter, your background, your education, your profession is irrelevant. It's intuition, it's genetic memory. So that's the Coburg Moor. That's one of the three families that combined to create the British monarchy. One of the three families that was combined to create the British monarchy that escaped and went to Europe in the 1800s to escape the revolutions which began in France when everyone got beheaded, and the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia when...
I hope you guys can hear because it has this noisy background, but
one of the three Tartarian kings was murdered, and everything that has happened since in our modern history, from World War I till today, has happened because one of the three Tartarian kings was killed. Were they all related? Well, are you ready for this? It's gonna get even crazy. I also wanted to show this. There is a lot of this information online. This is another one of the original Tartarians, one of the original Moorish Tartarians when they were combined, Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, which wasn't in Africa, but I'm not doing that today. Okay, wait a minute. Hang on, really? This is the only one that I have seen myself. This is a king of America, probably the first king to ever invade Europe. Yeah.
one little of showcasing the Tartarians and the people who are behind, of course, that amazing civilization. But you look at most of literally our people civilization. White people are the ones who are talked about, as if they came up with everything, as if they had all this knowledge while they never existed. Actually, all this existed before they existed. That's the crazy part.
The real story of the Tartarian Empire has been hidden from us for centuries. The Tartarians were a vast, advanced civilization that built structures and had technology far beyond what we have been led to believe was possible for their time. But why were they erased from history? It is because they knew about the Hermetic principles of frequency and energy. They lived in accordance with the natural laws of the universe. They utilized that knowledge to be able to build structures like these. They harnessed free energy, built advanced infrastructure, and held the secrets to increasing the longevity of human life. The reason people using horses and carts were able to build these types of structures is because they were not using horses and carts. the images of the past were altered. Tartarians used these laws of the universe, frequencies and vibrations, to shift to the dimension above. But there's more. This knowledge connects to the ancient Egyptians. This is also how they were able to build the pyramids. So how were they wiped off the face of the earth? The Great Reset was a series of catastrophic events orchestrated to wipe Tartaria off the map and rewrite history. We are talking mud floods, fires, and biological warfare. I mean, you've seen all these buildings with doors and windows halfway in the ground. Do you think that's normal?
Does anyone else find it interesting that so much has been removed from our history books? Like if you go and actually get the physical textbook from before 1910, if you go and get a history book before 1910, it actually says that there was an advanced civilization here in the United States before the Native Americans. That there was evidence that they found it when they came over here, that they met the Native Americans, and then they found all these ruins from, quote unquote, in the book, an advanced civilization that was here in the past, but was no longer here. Yet my entire life growing up, I was never taught that. None of us were ever taught that. In fact, we're taught the opposite, and we're told not to ask about that. Why did they take it out of the books? I can't be the only one that's curious about this stuff. I mean, everything's being put, in computers and databases.
I believe because it's a spiritual warfare, from the beginning, these people understood all this is a spiritual warfare. So like if you look at, of course, the pyramid, looking at the Tartarian civilization, again, all the great civilization, our people, like it explained, they tapped into these frequencies. They were dependent on the universe, literally, or on, I'd say literally the universe, the energy, the power, the frequency, and everything that has been explained. So it's been a spiritual warfare, and they have understood this from the beginning. So that's why they have wiped out all the information. They burnt the books. They have tried as much to destroy most of this and hide most of this information. So it is a spiritual warfare, has been, always been, and it will be. It's not just politic, no, it's spiritual from the beginning.
The problem with that is that they're removing anything they want first. So our only proof is in these physical textbooks. And how long are we going to have those? I don't know about you, but I'm going to start buying old books. Okay, love you, bye.
Columbus didn't discover America. You can't discover a place where people are already living. But we celebrate that every October. It's a lie. We need to get over, we need to stop telling the myths and start telling the truth. If we start teaching the truth about history, if we start teaching about Nile Valley contributions to civilization, it will totally change the way we conduct ourselves in the classroom. It will happen.
They teach you about Rome, but there was another superpower. In Africa, its name was Aksum, and it didn't imitate empires. It engineered one. By the 4th century AD, while parts of Europe still lived in wooden huts, Aksum carved obelisks from solid stone, 500 tons each, with doors, windows, and entire floors. Their capital had palaces, underground tombs, and ports that connected Africa to India, Arabia, and Rome. They minted gold coins in their own script, Ge'ez, a written language they invented themselves. Their kings wore gold. Their
all
churches
languages
were carved into mountains, sculpted from living rock. So advanced, modern engineers still can't explain how they did it. They were listed by Persian historians as one of the 4 great kingdoms of the world: Rome, Persia, China, Aksum. Aksum didn't conquer to prove its greatness. It connected continents, shaped religion, mastered stone. It didn't borrow civilization. It defined it.
Yeah, so
Tonight,
all right. So, and of course, I had to go deeper and look at the Aksum Empire, which of course is in Ethiopia, literally originates.
Ethiopia, yeah. Well, it wasn't Ethiopia back then. And it wasn't Abyssinian. And that name Ethiopia meant for all black people. So I know why they trust it. Why did this country of a sudden change its name Abyssinian Ethiopia? Because these mixed people are trying to claim ancient African identity, which they are not. Because the country of Ethiopia changed its name back in 1940 1940 something or 1930 something or something like that. I was like, wonder why? Because now you got these mixed people, and oh, we're the ancient people. No, you're not. You people weren't there. You're not the ancient Ethiopians. Ethiopia meant all of black people in Africa, not you, not the country of Ethiopia today. See, just like people like confuse ancient Ghana, which you got Ghana today. Ghana today has nothing to do with the Ghanaian Empire from 1,000 plus back years, 1,000 and even more years past that. You know, Ghana today has nothing to do with the Ghana. And the Ghana today is not the Ghana of ancient Ghana. Ancient Ghana would be in the Mali, Burkina Faso, Senegal region. That was ancient Mali. I mean ancient Ghana, not the Ghana you see today. So you know, but they didn't do. I know Ghana didn't do to try to steal that ancient history like Ethiopia tried that.
What's the name of that? Then what's the name of? Is it no? What's the name of that floating empire? Is it Aztec? No, Aztec.
Float. No, oh, you talking about float? It didn't float me on the eye. You talking about Atlantis?
Yeah, Atlantis.
It wasn't a floating empire, Joe. It was on an island. It was an island kingdom way back over 50 to 100,000 years ago, which is black. That's what Thoth before it went under. They go over to Kemet, and he says, "I go over to the land of Kim." And he told you when he's making the pyramids, and told you what's all underneath of what is showing today. He told you made that, and their datings are showing that fact that was made over 38,000 years ago. So we know it's none but black people. We know none of these people existed, not even closely. So that's why I want you to play the bit I just sent you about Candace Owens, dumbass, sitting there with the white supremacists talking crazy. Because this is how you know this bootlicking handkerchief head broad is dangerous for black people. She's dangerous. Like I said, with her, you know, it never stops. She's not even pushing back because she don't know anything about being black and black culture because she's already sold in. Remember, she was raised by, she was talking white supremacy ideology. Everything black is bad. So you got this white moron, this 25-year-old white man talking. Now Africans don't have a language. Africans don't think. Sub-Saharan African. There was no Sub-Saharan Africa. All the desert north of Africa was black people. Okay, as they got invaded, they went further south by these invaders. So all the kingdoms of northern African are African people. As they got invaded, like you got the Dogon now who live in Mali. They're not originally from Mali. They're originally from Kemet. As Africa kept getting invaded, the Africans left and went southward. And what they hate is that it's already been proven that Kemet was integral all throughout Africa. What we call Kenya today, they used to go to Kenya, wasn't Kenya, they whatever that. They used to go over to Nigeria because we know all of African people formed to make Kemet from the west, from the east, and whatever. And when they left, some stages in Kenya, some went all down to South Africa, some went over because there was no borders. And back then you were still enlightened, you knew you were one people. That's why you have, it's already proven. They already found, they was called a pharaoh. They wasn't called the pharaoh, they were called the sultan. That's why you get the Arabs calling themselves the sultan. They take all our stuff and remix it to make it them. So we know the king of Kemet was called the sultan, not the pharaoh, because they didn't understand the language. Pharaoh must have meant king. They put in all their goofy Bibles. It's all wrong. Sultan was the king. Where you get sultan later on with the Arabs taking the history and taking our language. So we know there's artifacts found in so it's advanced people. We know artifacts found in Nigeria of the sultan, of the pharaohs, plates and everything. We know all the way in California there's artifacts found of Egyptians. We know they sell to America. Even before the Europeans even existed. These are just facts. And that's what, so she got this, shout out this white lady, he pointing out the lies he's telling. Candace don't know this, because Candace is a bootlicker. She hates being black, but she got her white, she hates anything African. She never speaks up for anything black. Everything she's against everything black. Oh, you criminals! Oh, you no good. Supposed to be shot head. She's the blackest white woman you know. So she got a white woman correcting this European racist who was Kanye. And Joey told me they got mad. I said Kanye West tomorrow. He's a genius. Well, this is the genius's best friend. This white racist. We bought with me and Joey showed you 3 years ago. We brought on Alex Jones with him when Kanye had that goofy mask and that net. Right? Talking about Netanyahu. Right? And he brought this moron with. So this is his best friend. This racist bastard. That's why Kanye is dangerous. This moron. Remember, Kanye's on the spectrum. He's autistic. But he's supposed to be a genius. You got your mind. This racist right here is his best friend. So imagine the conversations Kanye had with this racist bastard. Telling his people never been in nothing. They didn't know anything. They were always underdeveloped. No language, no nothing. But all language, all philosophy came out of Africa. There's no Greek philosophy. That was African philosophy that they changed and put their names on it. These are facts. Stolen legacy. They stole our legacy and renamed it. But this white racist knows that. We'll watch him spew all this nonsense. But go ahead, Joby.
Okay.
Lack of development, lack of contributions.
Lack of
to
development.
mankind.
See, black people had no. Look at this. Black people had no contributions to mankind. We are the mankind, moron. We are the ones create the language. All your religions come from us. So go ahead. And she just sit there like, okay, because she's fucked up in the head. This is who she really is. I told her, don't get too comfortable because she's now mentioned the J's. She's still anti-black and don't know shit about being African and letting this white man dispute all kind of hatred towards her own people. Nothing but filthy lies, blatant lies. And she's not saying she ain't pushing back because she knows nothing about being African, being a black woman, period. None of that. Never wanted to learn it, never wasn't interested, wasn't curious. Because she hates everything black. That's who she is. Now I'm gonna let him go and go. Listen to this crazy shit this moron is saying.
No inventions, no philosophers.
No inventions, no philosophers.
No true great masterpiece. If half of Africa was super developed or halfway developed and the other half wasn't, maybe you'd have an argument whether they got colonized or not. Whether they got freed from slavery in 1800 or in 1860. It's the same story everywhere. There's not one written language among them.
One written language.
They don't have books. They don't have words.
Don't have books. Don't have words. We don't.
And there's billions of black.
I
think that's why they underperform.
Underperform.
A man who hates himself.
Exactly. And while you saying all this spirit, went longer than that. I got part of it. You go back and check the interview on her channel, YouTube or TikTok. She don't say anything because she don't know nothing. She let this man spew all kind of nonsense. We know the first writings come from Africa. All the alphabet is African. So you can't have a writing without the alphabet. We know the numbers are African. Europeans didn't have no number system. That's why you got Roman numerals are not numbers. They're lines and V's and X's. Okay? We also know that libraries didn't have any writing systems in Europe. They were all illiterate. These are facts. But she doesn't know that because she hates being black. Why she's trying to wipe out her lens with her white husband. Have all these white babies. That education was brought into Europe by the African. And the Moors came in the second, third time and re-educated everybody who was what? Illiterate. These are facts. The white Arab was illiterate. That's why he tell you even with their great Muhammad was what? Couldn't read or write. At least they're honest about not knowing they couldn't read or write. But you got this white man tell you, the Africans didn't do nothing, no inventions, didn't know how to read no books. You got more books in Timbuktu than you had all of Europe. And when they conquered, I try to burn all of it down to the ground. Because all their knowledge came from Africa. This is a fact. But Candace don't know none of this. That's why I keep telling you. Don't think Candace is smart. Candace is a moron. She only spews white supremacist talking points. That's why white people love her. Why they went crazy. Oh, Candace, girl, I can't believe you're going against those white people with Israel and stuff. And you're not down with shooting kids in the head and shooting them in the face. I don't know. I used to like you. I don't know what's wrong with you, girl. You know, white people say, I don't know why you're not as vicious and psychopathic as us no more, girl.
Yeah.
So maybe some of her melanin affected her no good butt. But white people say Candace is so smart because she talks white supremacist talking points. Candace Owens is a moron. You can always tell a moron who only spews talking points, and she's somewhat linguistically skilled, because I think all black people can't talk. They say, oh, Candace is so well spoken, and she's spewing white supremacist rhetoric. But any knowledge, she doesn't know anything. She's an empty vessel. You can pour into her whatever you want. She's an empty head moron. So that's why she couldn't even push back on her own people's history, because she don't know none of it, never cared to know none of it, and let this white man just talk crazy. Because she has no affinity for anybody.
Against the abolition of slavery in the 1860s is that, you know, when Europeans colonized Africa, you know, one of the big arguments against the abolition of slavery in the 1860s is that, you know, when Europeans colonized Africa, they hadn't discovered the wheel. There's no two-story buildings.
They haven't discovered the wheel. The wheel was done in Mesopotamia by the Africans in Sumer. That's another lie. Sumer was African. Okay? We were talking about the Anunnaki. They was African. All the Middle East was African. These are just all facts. Not the people you see today. Those people invaded. All that was African. He just said all kind of crazy, and she's not going to say nothing because she's a moron. European was living in caves and sucking his own dick and fucking animals. These are facts. But this white supremacist ain't going to talk about none of that. These are facts. Absolute. Undisputable facts. Candace don't know that. You mean my white daddy was having sex with animals? Yeah. That's where all your venereal diseases came from, you black moron. That's where your syphilis came from, gonorrhea, all that filthy shit came from his people. Fucking animals, moron. And then when they got out of Europe, they started raping everybody. That's when you get what they call STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, from his people. These are facts. His people still have animal brothels. Today they still pay to go fuck dog coochie and horse coochie and baboon coochie. Today. But she don't want to do that because I love my white daddy. I can't believe that. These are facts. She let him spew it. Go ahead, Joe. She let him spew this crazy shit.
Africa in the last century and invented for the African people, because there's no recorded history. They didn't have writing.
It was created writing. There's no recorded history. And listen, she's like, yeah, all right, white man, is that true? All right, because she's a moron. See, without her right wing white supremacist talking points, she doesn't know anything. I tried to teach you that, and that's how she got exposed as the moron she really is. See, she can speak good English, yeah. See, but she's an idiot. She's stupid. Just because you speak good English don't make you smart. She just linguistically can speak good English, right? You know, she's like what white people say. Oh, you're so well spoken, because all Africans are supposed to be morons and can't speak, right? Candace is so well spoken, right? But she's a moron. She's an idiot. Go ahead, Joe.
Were not black.
Okay, but you said when they went to Africa, so I just want to...
The interior of Africa in the late 19th century.
Okay, so we're now knocking Egypt out of Africa.
Well, Egypt is part of northern Africa, sub-Saharan
Africa. You said Africa, so I'm being...
She don't even know that northern Africa was black. This moron don't even know northern Africa was black and those people invaded. He keeps doing that fake white supremacist talking point. Those people are invaders. You can look at the Sphinx, not some black person there. You got all the statues of black people. No matter how much they try to paint them all, those are African. And all the noses are cut off of shit. Those are African noses. Right? So, yeah, but she doesn't. She's able to say, but see, they like to say the North Africa, the sub-Saharan part, as if those people are indigenous to Africa. They're not. Those people up in Morocco, Libya, Algeria, and Egypt today are not indigenous to Africa. They are invaders from Central Asia. They are Turks, mixed mulattoes, and Mongols, Mongoloids. That's their genetics. Go ahead, Joby. But she don't know that.
Gotcha. I'm just responding. You're saying Africa.
Sure. Yeah.
It's in Africa. It's Egypt. It's kind of ridiculous that there was no written language.
Well,
so I'm just trying to get you to
sure.
you know,
Egyptians are not
if
African.
I'm not pushing back, the internet
Egyptians are not African. The modern Egyptians are not African. Those because it wasn't called Egypt, moron. He doesn't know what's called Kemet. Africans never named it no Egypt because that's not the name. The name of it was Kemet, named the Black Lands because they were black. Kemet actually means that's where you get chemistry from, dummy. Science. Chemistry comes from Kemet because the African created science. That's where you get the name chemistry, moron. She doesn't know that. The very term of science comes out of Kemet. Kemet, chemistry. These are linguistic facts. This is a fact. And she said that the Egyptians are not Africans. They're not black people. And all the truth, they've already been proven that they're black, moron. They've already proven from the melanin content. See, forget all your fake movies. From the melanin content to the hair, to the skin, to the teeth, and to the skull. Our skulls are different than yours. We have bigger brains. So you don't never know that. We have bigger brains because we're smarter than you people. African brain is bigger than the European brain. Oh, that's a fact. And you got Neanderthal genetics, which Candace now gave her baby, gave her kids. That's what she wanted, a Neanderthal baby. So, okay, you got monkey genes. Africans don't, and Africans have bigger brains. These are just facts, okay, which they don't teach you, but this moron don't know. And so they already know the African is smarter than you. They know this through their science. They know the African develops faster than you. Nick, for instance, you got white skin, which is not inducive to this planet. Why you're going to get skin cancer, why you can't go in the sun. Okay? You are a deficient defect. It's another scientific fact. But Candace don't know that. Candace hates being black. So she's letting you spew all this nonsense. Go ahead, Joby.
When I say African, I'm saying sub-Saharan Africans.
See, you get that sub-Saharan. They try to say the sub-Saharan part because they know historically the Africans moved below the desert to get away from these invaders. So they try to title black people sub-Saharan African, and that's a lie. All of Northern Africa was black. Okay? Before the invasions, 1,500 years ago, all of Africa was black. And that means the fake Middle East too, which they call the Middle East, Northeast Africa, was all black. These are facts. Go ahead, Joe.
Candace Owens, you have the name of a queen, but the mind of a fool. How the hell are you successful, with all due respect? Huh?
She's a moron.
How are you going to invite this self-proclaimed racist, a guy who literally glazes over the mustache man?
Because that's who put her on, dude. You're too stupid. That's who Candace got famous by. Talking white supremacist talking points.
Why are you calling him a fool? He's on your side.
I know, but I'm saying he doesn't know enough about why she do it. That's her whole shtick. She's a white supremacist in blackface. Go ahead, Joe.
Lie. And his fans are eating this up. Well, I'm not going to let that happen. First statement, the wheel. The wheel was first domesticated or created by a culture in Eurasia who first domesticated the horse. Yeah, they were on plains, on steppe lands. Okay,
those Africans.
They had the animals to use the wheel. They had the means, the landscape, the geography for it. Yeah, in most parts of Africa, the wheel was useless. Yeah, there was many vegetation.
See, he doesn't know. He still doesn't understand that wheel was still invented by Africans in Sumer. See, he doesn't know enough. Brother, go back and study. Africans created the wheel. That's the European white racist talking points. It was created in Mesopotamia, Sumer, which was a black civilization. The African created the wheel. That's a fact. Why you see all the Sumerian texts and all in their damn tombs and all on the cuneiform tablets, the wheel. So we know that's a lie. And those are African people. Sumer was an African empire. That is a fact. Go ahead, Joby.
Which was the reason why the wheel didn't spread. Most cultures adopted the wheel. Not every single culture just created the wheel out of nothing. Okay? The wheel, ancient Egyptians didn't have the wheel originally. The Hyksos gave the Egyptians the wheel, or they adopted it from them.
The Hyksos coming from where? From the Sumer era. Those white filthy people that came down to Sumer, they got it from Sumer, moron. Study enough. Don't try to defend when you don't know nothing. The African created the wheel. Go ahead. Not the Hyksos. Go ahead, Joe.
Possibly the Aksumites. Then in Central Africa, in Western Africa, you see rock art, which shows the wheel. Okay?
The Egyptians had the chariot, so you know they had a wheel. So what you're saying is stupid. You don't even know. Dude, Kemidians had a chariot. They had the wheel, dude. Stop listening to this white dude talking crazy. He's a moron. You had chariots in Kemet. That's a wheel. They had the wheel. Jesus Christ. They had chariots in Kemet. That's a wheel. Go ahead, Joby.
Let me look for another video. That was just one of the reactions from that specific conversation. Let me see.
They try to claim Sumer.
It's not that I don't.
None of these people were in Sumer. Either more. I told you. And remember, this is your genius best friend. I got to show this to Irritar. This is your genius best friend who said you Africans are stupid. You didn't do nothing. You're backward. You didn't know how to build a building that's 2 stories. All lies. All the castles of Moors in Europe. Europe didn't have any castles. The Moors brought that technology from Africa into Europe and built those castles. And it come from the European. European was living in barns, sleeping with his animals again. Now these just facts. Facts. Go ahead, Joby.
I don't think that there should be interracial marriage. I'm Catholic, so as you know, it's not a sin to be in an interracial marriage or relationship. But I am racist, I would say. I believe in the races.
I don't agree with it either. Exactly. I want your ass to die out. I want you. You're right. I agree with white people being with white. I agree with you, Nick. That is one thing I do agree with you, because the more you stay with people, because your genetics are fucked up. See, your genetics are less diverse, so you having sex with white people is like incest. And these are just facts. There's not no, don't go crazy, Google. You can look. These are facts. Your genetic pool is so fucked up, so weak. You haven't procreated with white people. That's why you can't make babies. That's why you're up there with Joby showing in the beginning with these BACCINEs all over Africa. Because the African woman's genetics makes babies. It's a baby making machine because she's the first thing of God. So something's wrong with your woman and you, where you guys can't reproduce. You know why? Because you're a genetic defect. And it's another fact, not me. You can go look this up. Okay? That's why you're not able. You want to say it ain't the economy for you. You guys have all the money that you stole. Okay? It's just that you cannot. Genetically, you're the least. Put this up, Joe, real quick. Keep that video up. Go to Google. Say the Caucasian race is the least genetically diverse. Is the least genetically diverse. Now, if you understand diverse, and the African is the most, to procreate yourself, you have to have diversity in your gene pool. That's why they always, like Joby says, steal black organs, because you make the best organs when you're the most diverse. This is science. What does it say, Joby?
It's not really giving me. Let me see. They're saying that the Native Americans had the least genetic diversity of all, indicating the part of the world was settled last. Previously, we've been able to look at the genome and say this is the part from Africa, this is from Asia, explained Virginia Research Andrew Singleton. That is just some of the information.
Okay. Put this up there. Okay, let's go from a different way. They're hiding it again. Let's ask a different way. Let's say how diverse is the European genome? How diverse is the European? No, I can't say it because you got a lot of black people now in Europe. I want to say Caucasian. How diverse is the Caucasian's gene pool? Let's do that. How diverse is the Caucasian's gene pool? Let's ask it that way. Gene and then pool. Pool.
They're saying that the term Caucasian encompasses a vast of diverse range of population.
Yeah, we know it does, but we want to know.
Its genetic diversity is significant, reflecting a history of migration, admixture, and adaptation across different regions. While some studies suggest a higher genetic diversity in some African population, the Caucasian gene pool exhibits a complex structure with considerable variations within.
See, let you know that the African is the most genetic, but we ain't asking about the African. So he just put the African in there because they know the African is the most diverse gene. I mean, the African's always going to live, always, because the African is the most genetic because it's beginning. That's why the animals in Africa, well, unless you morons talking about life starting in America, you know it didn't, because Africa's got the most, what? Genetically diverse animal population on the planet. And let you know, we got the most diverse genetic population. That's the beginning of everything. And then as it dispenses itself, it gets less diverse. That's why you're going to find lions and elephants and shit all over the planet now. You're only found in Africa. The most diverse are monkeys and apes. You ain't seen no ape in no damn America or South America. Where's the ape at? Because Africa's got the most diverse animal population because it's the beginning of everything. But you morons don't know science. Screaming holler, America, I thought Africa and America's the beginning of the place. No, it ain't. That's why people laugh at you morons on the internet and say stupid shit. Anyway, they're like so now they have, but then Europeans are the least diverse people on the planet. That's why they're going extinct. And then the Asians are the second. Then these Indians. And why the Asians are all going extinct. And why Joby showing that people, they're begging black people. Why are they asking black people to go have sex with Japanese? Because they know genetics. Okay, this is not me saying this. We know Japanese, the Japan government asked black men to come impregnate their women. Why they ask Caucasians, East Indians, or other Asians to come? Because they know genetically, this is science. And then do with this fake white man and his fake supremacy nonsense argument, which is a lie. Japanese know science. They know in order for them to exist, they must get black genetics. They didn't go to this man and say, oh, you black people never did nothing, you're stupid and you're dumb and you're fucked up. Why did they go to him since he's so superior and great? Why did they go ask Nick Fuentes, hey, give us some of your sperm? Because they know his sperm is garbage. They know his sperm is garbage. That's why. They know that. That's why they said put a call for black men to come to Japan and have sex with their women so they can continue to live. You know why? Because black people are the most genetically diverse. I had Joby to pull up that article. We weren't talking about no Africans, but the first thing said, but the Africans are so genetically diverse. That's a fact. Okay? And why the Chinese are dying out and the Japanese are dying out. Because of diversity. The gene pool and the Europeans are dying out. Because genetically, You said you're the best. Then why didn't God make you genetically superior then? That's what you keep saying. The Candace Owens right here. You supposedly did everything and you did making all these crazy lies up. Okay, I don't need to go to lies. I just go to genetics. Genetically speaking. Okay? Why didn't the Japanese see? I would destroy, but Candace don't know us because she's a moron. Okay, Nick. Said we were dumb, we're backward, we're stupid, we didn't do anything. Why are the Japanese asking us to help them procreate and live their lives? Why didn't it come to white men and you, since you're supposed to be superior? Well, because scientifically you're not. Scientifically, you're the least superior. Genetically, these are facts. Okay? Now, Candace Owens is a moron. You don't know none of this, but the Japanese know science. That's why they said we're going to pay black men to come have sex with our women so we can make a mulatto Japanese race so we can survive. Okay? It's based on science, not your cuckoo race theories. Science, which is truthful, not your fake white supremacist lies you've been told your whole life. Go ahead, Joby.
White people and black people and Hispanics and Asians. And I think that it's a core part of our identity. It's who we are. And there's like this conservative reflex to say, we're colorblind. Race doesn't mean anything.
No, and that's a lie. You never that's a lie. You've never been colorblind. They keep saying that stuff, trying to make themselves. You people never been colorblind. This is an absolute lie. You've always been racist all over the planet. You say it's an absolute lie. And not all of you. Not all white people bad. Not even male. The majority of you are. So the color scheme, that's a lie. Go ahead, Joe.
He said, it's not everything, but it isn't nothing. And I definitely lean more towards the latter, which is it really is a core part of who we are. Our culture, our heritage, our ancestors.
Well, he don't like you, Candace. You married that white man and had babies with the white man. He told you don't like that. Go ahead, Joe.
Our customs, all of it. You know, it's not that I don't think that two people can fall in love from different races. Of course they can. And they have throughout history. And the races have mixed throughout history and assimilated. But for someone like myself, I always say on my show, it's just my value. I want to marry someone that looks like me, that comes from a similar background, because I want my kids to look like me. I want my grandkids to look like me.
Are you, sorry, I just want to make sure, did you say I'm a racialist or I'm a racist?
You know, for long
Candace don't like that. Candace don't want none of babies look like her.
Now I just say I'm racist.
Okay, so when you say you're racist, because these definitions get changed around, racist, anti-Semitism.
He's racist. And you see, Candace, you said you're racialist or racist? You know he's racist, Candace. But you're racist because you hate yourself. That's why you're white, you get this white talking point. Anybody listen to him know he's racist, and you got to be trying to justify his racism. Let me clarify. Are you a racist or racialist? He's racist. But he is. And that's Kanye West's best friend. Ain't that funny? You got you moron because Kanye West is a moron who hates himself too. Well, you never seen Kanye West ever with a black woman. And you got these black women talking about he's a genius. You out of your fucking mind. You a moron or what? He won't even touch your ass. And you want to call this moron a genius who hangs out with this white supremacist talking crazy about your people. But you so fucked up in the head, he's a genius. Listen, you're a throwaway. I put a bubble gum right in your mouth. Get on out of here. You're dangerous. Go ahead, Joey.
What do you mean when you say I'm a racist? Because I think most people watching this would go, if you are a racist in the traditional sense of the term, why are you on this podcast, right? Wouldn't you just go,
because you let him on there. We mean, why are you on this podcast? Because you knew it was racist. Because you were probably by racist, Candace. Stop acting crazy like you ain't been spewing racist ass shit for the last 7 years with your self-hating ass. What you talking about? You just confirm for everybody. You try to play, black people are just emotional. I try to give everybody a platform, and I say crazy things about black people. And I met a white man I met in 2 weeks. This is a fact. She met a white man in England that she married in 2 weeks. 2 weeks of knowing this white man. 2 weeks.
Damn.
So, yeah. Even Joby said, damn. That's right. Everybody said, damn, Joby. That's why all the white people coming out against her because she went against Israel. How does this broad talking? She married a man she didn't know and married him in 2 weeks because he's all white. They know you hate yourself. They know you married him because he's white. You met him and you only knew him 2 weeks. Yeah, Candace, people know you fucked up in the head. Good.
I don't want to speak to her.
Right.
Certainly not going on to your show and saying, why won't Candace have me on? That doesn't really seem to line up with the traditional sense of the idea of racist. So
yeah, and I'm using it. I'm being a little tongue in cheek.
Because he know you spew racist talking points, Candace. He know you're a safe space. What are you talking about? So you work for a racist organization called The Wire, with all white supremacist racists on there. I was that Ben Shapiro. What's that other racist dude up there? What's that other racist guy? Am I a racist? What's that other racist on there? They can think, am I a racist? Yeah, you're a racist. Sounds stupid. You work for a racist organization for years. And they only fired you because I guess some of your melon spoke through because you wanted to advocate for other white people. Why are they shooting the white Palestinians in the head? Why are they doing that? As soon as you said that, they fired your ass with the quick. Get your black ass out of here. So, fired your black ass with the quickness. Get your black ass out of here. So, you have a melanin regret, but you've been spouting racist talking points forever. That's why he's comfortable coming on your show. What are you talking about? As if you was a basket of black power and black authority and trying to stand for black people. You have not. Never, ever. See, you're mentioning Palestine because they're white people. They're mixed white people. But you ain't never said a goddamn thing about the Congo because those are damn sure Negroes. You ain't said one thing about the genocide in the Congo, and you're not. You're never going to say it, and anybody thinking that you're out of your rabbit-ass mind. If you think Candace Owens is going to say anything about anybody black being genocided, she don't give a damn. But go ahead, Joker.
For the purpose of understanding, I'd say my views are I'm a racialist. But I do think that we need to deconstruct this idea of racism in the sense that, look, you're black, I'm white. It is what it is. For my entire life, people have been walking around on eggshells about the subject of race, about white people being racist. They ain't been
walking on no eggshells. They've always, it is that when black Americans start telling what they were, they didn't like it. So they tried to tamp it off. See, them being savages, he's a savage. Their natural fallback is that they're savages. And they don't like not being able to call you an N-word and be racially fucked up and treat you like shit. That's who they are. And I'm going to show you after this video. I'm going to show you a video. If you guys don't know, there's a famous stream guy. I don't know what he's famous for, but he's famous. It's called Speed. That's the one who went to China, right? I Show Speed, the black kid. Now, he's over in the Slavic countries next to Russia, because they're all Slavic. They're the Slavic nations. He's been throwing bananas, called him a nigger to his face, and throwing monkey nose. Because that's who they are. He's all messed up in the head. Well, bro, what you doing, bro? Because, of course, he's a moron. He doesn't know, he's just on the internet, and they just being openly racist to him over in Serbia, either Serbia, Bosnia, another one of these other fucked up countries over there, right? Because that's who they are, untapped. See, them being closer to us, the closer they are to the facility of black people, you can civilize this savage a little bit. But since there's not many black people in those countries, their savagery is on full display. This is who they are. That's their cousins. See, being around black people, he doesn't want to have to hold back. He want to be just as savage as those people are in Bosnia and Serbia towards this young black kid who's over there famous on the internet without being just brutally savaging and racial, just being, like when even a white guy in America said he cried. He said, I don't even watch these content, but he went over there and man, the racism is brutal. It's so in your face. That's what Nick wants to do. We've been having to walk on eggshells, and we ain't been able to call you a nigga in your face. You know the dirty nigga. As Jim School said, why they call you dirt? That's what Nick wants to do. He wants to say, you niggas couldn't read, you never had no writing, and you niggas, I hate you niggas. That's what he wants. That's what he wants to be able to say. He's mad. He feels restraint. You hear me saying? And that's happened to be politically correct and not being able to, and stepping on eggshells. And I can't call you Candace, you dirty, filthy nigga witch. But man, a white man, you dirty, filthy nigga witch. That's what I want to say. God damn it. We've been having to walk on eggshells. So him being civilized is walking on eggshells. Him not being able to say racial slurs, and that's what they all want to do, is walking on eggshells. Let's walk around on eggshells. I can't call you a filthy nigga bitch to your face, Candace, and it's eating me up inside. I'm dying right now. I want to call you a filthy nigga bitch so bad. So bad, goddammit. Right now. I want to be able to spit in your face and nothing happened to me. But if now I have to walk on eggshells. What kind of life is this for a savage like me? Go ahead, Joe.
Can I say that? Can I have this opinion? And me, I'm sort of, Gavin McInnes said it like this. He said, you're kind of post-racist. You're sort of after this craze where everything was racist. It's sort of this recognition that we live in a heavily racial world. And, look, sometimes we have racist feelings.
And sometimes he's a racist. I told you, he's mad because he can't call Joby a filthy nigga bitch to her face. You filthy nigga bitch, Joby. What do you want to say?
Where you live, find me. You can't call me that. I'm gonna call Candice Owens on her face. That's what he's doing.
Racist feelings like I want to live in a white neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to live in a black neighborhood. If they're all like you, obviously it'd be a different story. But when we think of a black neighborhood, we know what that is.
If they're all like you, it'd be a different story. See, that's why they gotta placate to her because they know she's a bootlick. See, if they're all like you, Candace, and bootlicking and talk racist talking points and hate their own people, it'd be okay. If they hate their own nigga people, it'd be okay. I wouldn't mind living next to you, Candace. Because you suck white cock, you got white dick all in your mouth. Yeah, you do that. Got your white babies and shit. I wouldn't mind that, Candace. And you talk shit about your own people. Yeah, and that would be all right. But the revolution, like a Malcolm X. Oh no, I don't know. I want that nigga next to me. Go ahead, Joe.
And I thought this one was big. Now look.
Hello. I'm Zena. It just was. What you will know, a lot of times people think that when people come together, it's because of how they look. Actually, I read this in a Thomas Sowell book, or maybe it was a Shelby Steele book. People tend to marry their IQ, which is interesting.
That's a lie. That's a lie. IQ, because she's a moron, right? So you better marry IQ. You met a man in 2 weeks. You knew his IQ. That's a lie. And she's talking about Thomas Sowell, the bootlegged handkerchief head Negro, that they self-hating Negro, American Negro, they would pop up every time. He was supposed to be an economist, but the white people never wanted to ask him about anything with economy, right? They asked him all kind of black issues about hating black people. He get there and say the white talking points like all these bootlicks. These bootlicks all die a tragic death. And I love it for you, Candace, because ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about your wicked ass. When white people get rid of you, you'll try to bring your black ass back. That's what's no. Go marry people with your IQ. How about you marry people with your IQ? You knew this man's IQ in 2 weeks?
It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't.
I think if you're two black people together, it's because they are two black people, but actually they are probably better matched based on their IQ. I fell in love with my husband just because I think he is one of the most brilliant people ever. I love him very much. The stuff that we talk about, I'm like, there is no other person that I could have married. We have 3 beautiful children.
Of course not. He's a white man who don't do shit. They'll find out he's brilliant. They'll find out Candace Owens' husband don't got a job. He's brilliant, but without a job. She pays all the bills. My husband's so brilliant. He's so brilliant, he don't got a job. He's so brilliant, he don't do nothing but put his penis in the back of my head every night. Go. He's so brilliant. So brilliant, don't have a job. I married him in 2 weeks.
Let me go to the comments very quickly of the people on the chat. Owens there. I've seen one of the comments. Someone says she can't really resist this white man aura.
Exactly. That's what she is, Joe. But she's filthy. She's what they would call a black bed. In slavery time, she's a bed wench.
Mm-hmm. But I see, John Mosquito, you spoke about a video. Kindly highlight it, then I light it on the WhatsApp, and then I'll watch it on my own free time. I also see Emil says brings me back memories from the beginning of the decade when you used to talk about Asian civilization a lot, how white people and Asians were created. Jason also says when we feel a connection to any of these huge structures, that's because we lived through them. Times from past lives to its
past lives. Yeah, past lives. Yeah, past lives we lived in the past.
Mm-hmm. You also add so many structures from the past look like they used some Asian direct energy weapons because some temples caved into mountains looked melted. Makes sense. I also see Emil says, I wonder if the dinosaurs were wiped out along with these advanced beings. I always wonder.
The advanced beings made the dinosaurs, so no advanced beings ever got wiped out, Email. And you being a good dude, you probably got a lot of black genetics in you, Email. That's why you got a kind, loving soul. You got what the other people tried to wipe out. Because the Moors went into Europe specifically to put melanin in the European, specifically. So you probably got that genetics. Well, you got a kind, loving soul. You got that genetics in you. That's what the Moors, because the Moors said they were going into Europe to clean out what they call the Aegean stable, the messed up European, the created white man. They got get rid of that genetics. We got to put melanin in this goddamn thing because it's wicked. Like, because they understand that goes back to the spiritual aspect, right? Why they decided to make the white race and these other races.
Mm-hmm. Also, John Mosquito says they are all energy building. I also see Jason says, and that one pyramid that has exploded, they said a ship did that. And I also see Emil says Philip Scott had Jane Elliott on his podcast on a long time ago, and she admitted that she was racist. And he adds that Zulu people have Kemetic ancestry. The collars and leopard hides they wear tell it all. Okay. And John Mosquito says correct. You're correct, Brother Keith. Dr. Phil Valentine confirmed this years ago Western Africa is newly populated. And Sankiran Karibu Sana, nice to see you. Been a minute. Hope you're doing great. Nice to see you in today's conversation. I also see Ricky in the building, Karibu. He says, I first heard about Tartarian Empire was 2014 by black females in India. When you first heard about it, all right. And I also see, he says, nobody on YouTube was talking about Tartarian Empire. I've been listening to you since November 2016 with Big Lou and Miss Florida. I never heard you talk about empires until I asked you a few weeks ago. All right. And then I also see
you remember? Hey, Ricky been around as long. You remember Sharon, Miss Florida, Sister Sharon. Oh man. Shout out to wherever Sharon. Sharon's been living in Thailand. Miss Florida. the beauty star. Sharon has. Sharon was on that show. We found that police officer was having sex with his dog. Right, having sex with the canine. In America, Joey, some of these police have their partner as a dog. We found a dog was on the beach having sex with white man was having sex with that dog. Yeah. Canine. But anyway, Yeah, but Sharon says she's not African. Sharon says she's an indigenous Indian. I said, okay. All right. Okay. That's what she would say. I'm indigenous. We were already here. I'm indigenous Indian. Oh, okay. You know, she's my co-host. How can I argue with her? I'm going to argue with her. Like, oh. I said, okay, crazy motherfucker.
John says, recently I've started checking these white people in the comment section because they've been spewing their lies again about history, knowing that black people have been dumbed down again. And Ricky says that's why my father and uncle told, when you in Europe, pay attention to castles and all the buildings, especially in America. He also adds, no, now everybody wants to become Tartarian now, and I had a book since 2015, still don't understand. John Mosquito says they still...
Well, come on the show, Ricky. Call in, Rick. Call in, Rick, this weekend. I'm gonna go live twice. I got everything set up finally again. Call in and let's talk. Let's get the book. Let's talk about it. Because some of the things I just don't know about the Tartarians either. That everything has been just lied and remade. Like we know, mostly ancient Greece wasn't real because remember all those statues. Those are all created by the Rocket. Those are all forgeries. They show all these statues in the civilization of white. Those are all lies. Those are all forgeries. We know most of those civilizations were black people, like Homer and the Iliad, all that stuff. And we know Troy. Remember they got Troy, the old movie Troy with Brad Pitt. We know that was a black civilization. We know what we call Troy which is Turkey today. Those people wasn't there. So that part of what they call Troy was all black people. As Homer said, he's a fact. That was a black kingdom. Troy was a black, but all they move is always all white people. Troy was a black kingdom, and we know that because Troy talks about you read all the ancient Troy documents, they talk about our cousins back in Kemet. So we know cousins weren't white people. Troy would talk about their cousins and our civilization coming from Kemet or coming from Kim. But when you look at all these movies in Troy, you're a kid, you get indoctrinated all this propaganda. You don't know, because real history is never taught, hardly ever. And everybody's white. Everybody's white. And damn, where the black people ever at? Oh, so then you get a Nick racist sprinter. Oh, you niggas were all butt naked and didn't do nothing. You didn't know how to read or write. You had no language. You didn't know the will. You was sucking on your own toes and shit. Like what? Yeah. Sucking on your own toes and sniffing other people's asses. That's your history. Like, what? And black people were the first people. How is it that we never did nothing? That wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, but that's what happened.
Crazy. But I also see John Mosquito was saying earlier they're still doing the raping now. Nothing changes or nothing changed.
Of course.
He also adds, sound smart but weak-minded, easily manipulated. That is Candice Owens. And
exactly.
The reason I listened to Black Hot Fire Network because it was only 1 million times didn't sell your souls and ask for money from 2016 November to 2025 July. Yes, but feel free to send that donation when you can, family. It's really much needed. We're still gonna remind you.
Ask Rick the donation. Rick was sending his donations like a motherfucker about 2 or 3 years ago. Rick was sending his donations as damn Big Cheese back in the day. Because Rick was always on Facebook when we did our Facebook show. We got our Facebook page canceled. So Rick was always on Facebook back in the day. And you was always sending us donations back in the day, Rick. All the time. All the time you send us donations. Just as much as Big Cheese back then, shit. I said, Rick must have lost his job and shit. Oh shit. We never had to ask you, Rick. You were just sending donations. I said, damn, Rick sending donations. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah, of course I appreciate it.
Africa is a Roman name. The real name is Alkebulan. That is Emil John was curious.
Actually, it's not. They keep saying the Roman. Actually, it's not. But the original name of Africa is Akibalan, meaning the garden. You know, Akibalani. So, but of course, it was called Akibalan before it was called Africa. Of course. But we had a tribe of black people in northern Africa called the Afrik, right? Who come out of Kemet and Libya. And so when the Romans conquered that area, Emil, they would take on the name of the people that they conquered. That's why you had Scipio Africana. He said, oh, that's a Roman name. It's not. He took on the name of the people he conquered, who were the Afrik people, who were based in Kemet and Libya. So it's still an African name, but it was an African tribe. It wasn't the name of the whole continent back then. Yes, you're correct. It wasn't the name of the whole continent. That was a tribe of people named the Afrik. It becomes Africa. People say, oh, that's a Roman name. You name it the Romans. No, not a Roman name. It's an African name. He just conquered that tribe and put it in his name, Scipio Africana, because he conquered that tribe. But of course, that wasn't the name of the whole continent back then. And so since Rome was a big empire, that became the name of the continent, Africa. Okay? But of course, it was named Akibalan. So Joby's sitting actually in Akibalan, the garden, because Africa had everything. It was the garden. Akibalan meaning the birthplace, the garden. Africa, the Garden of Eden. Africa had everything. Go ahead, Joby.
Yes, but I also see John Mosquito says, do you white people get cancer in the eyes too from the sun?
Yep, they do. Ain't it funny? But exactly. But Nick Princess, with people, I want to be racist. I agree. I agree with you, Nick. I don't want no melanin. It makes me angry as hell when I see a black woman with a white man. I'm gonna go away. Especially if she's a beautiful black woman. I said, oh man, let me find me some bubble gum. Anyway, but I agree with you, Nick. But your people, your elite know it's not gonna work. So they know they're gonna have to graft themselves back into blackness. That's why they got these commercials. They get mad. All in America, you guys know every commercial in America is a black man and a white woman, or a white man and a black woman. Every commercial has got an interracial couple. If they're going to KFC, the interracial. If they're going to get car insurance, the interracial. If they're going to get some damn washing detergent, the damn interracial. If they're getting some cereal or some porridge, they're interracial. I said, so they're sending that message subliminally.
All right. I also see the animals in Africa are colorful too. That is so cool. The earliest ancestors of dinosaurs and I can't pronounce that. What was that? Pterosaurs? Is the P silent? Petrosaurs? I don't know. I don't understand. But he says came from Africa and particularly South Africa. Oh, Petrosaurs. Petrosaurs? Is it Petrosaurs? Let me see. I don't like skipping things. I don't know. I gotta see. Okay, Petrosaurs. Oh, the hell is this? I don't even know what the hell is this. Do this exist today? No. No. What the hell is this? I don't know what the hell is this. Let me share my screen. I don't know what the hell is that, Emil. They look creepy. Looks really creepy. That is my screen. I don't know what the hell is that. But anyway, I see also John Mosquito says, damn, she's worse than Eve. That's crazy. Jason says, they say dinosaurs were a cover-up narrative for dragons. All right. Interesting.
A lot of people saying dragons exist. In every folklore. I can't say if they do or don't. I don't know. but then every folklore all throughout the world. So how is that possible if they never existed? So I don't know. Like a lot of things we learn, I don't know. I can't prove yes or no. So I can't say they did exist or didn't exist. Okay, but we know oil is not no fossil fuel. We know that. We know we don't get oil from no dinosaurs dying. We know that. Go ahead, Joe.
Emil says there's a group of aliens called the Pleiadians that are depicted as an extraterrestrial white race.
It's a white race. Yeah, that's a lie. There's no Palladian. That's all made up garbage. That's all lies. The Palladians. They got people be all supposedly channeling them. Yeah, white people. shout out to the guy Joe Bill showed the white Arab guys and the white people all with this crazy stare, but they want to be alien, white aliens and all this. He said, the fact that black people first, how can you have white aliens? Yeah, but it wouldn't be conducive to be white guys to be in space. You need melanin because we know white structure disintegrates in space. So when astronauts go into space, they have bone losses. So you can't exist. See, these are things they don't want to teach you. So the white race, you can't exist in space as a white person long enough to travel because you start to disintegrate. That's why when astronauts go to they got to come back and exercise. I'm a joke. But black people, we get stronger. And while the black woman went up there, she got stronger. The black man, we get stronger in space because space is melanated. Do this for me, Joe, real quick. Say, go to Google real quick. That's how you throw up the fake Palladian white, the tall whites and the white people nonsense. Okay, put this up, Joe. Say, astronauts lose bone density in space. The astronauts lose bone density in space. So the longer they stay up there, that's why when they come back, they can barely walk and they got to exercise to get the bones, the structure back, because their body starts to disintegrate in space the longer they stay up there. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, they say yes, astronauts do lose bone density in space due to the microgravity environment. But this is a significant challenge for long-duration space missions.
Exactly. It's long duration. Go ahead, read. I'm going to read out, Joe.
As it can lead to weakened bones and increased risk of fractures upon the return to Earth. While much of this bone loss is recovered, some astronauts experience permanent loss.
Permanent loss. But you know who don't get that, Joby? The African astronaut. Black woman, when they put black woman up there, black man, we don't get any bone loss because we're natural to the universe. Okay, so there is no white Palladians, all these white nonsense they talk about. That's a lie. Because you're non-melanated. So you start having bone, you start disintegrating. You stay up there long enough, you'll die. Your bones will just crumble into dust, collapse. You have all kind of, you just won't live. That's just sad. So whenever you know you listen to propaganda, the tall whites and the Palladians, you're like, yeah, okay. It's nonsense because when white people go into space, their bones break apart. And that's a fact. Not me being a racist, I'm not, and then being about racist, that's science. Because the people that created you expected you to never leave here, and they were doing something with the white race. You were created to house demons. That is another fact. Now, a lot of white people can't do it because they got black genetics from the Moors. The Moors knew this. These are facts. These are ancient papers. Moors said we got to stop the demonic possession on the planet. We got to put melanin in these damn people. So it'd be harder for lower vibration entities to house in their avatar. That's why you see white people, they just don't have any sympathy, no empathy, because they got demons in them. Lower entities in it. But they can kill and rob and shoot and rape babies and all kind of crazy shit. That's why they don't want you interracial. That's why the hatred towards blackness and they get mad if they like he took like him. He's got a demon in him. Like that Nick, for instance, he's demonic. There's a low vibrational entity up in his avatar. He's wicked, and so that's why they're told not to merge their bloodline, because if they get melanin, it's harder for the demons to possess their avatar. Okay, that's why Fight Genetics was actually created, to house demonic energy or Ogo energy. Remember I told you about Ogo? Ogo created this existence. It was created to house his energy, his low vibrational energy. Right? So one of these Anunnakis in them to keep ruling this planet through them. That's why there's a hatred of African people. Everything feeds off of your energy. See, it's a spiritual war you in. If you don't know African science, it'll just confuse the shit out of you. You don't never know why they're so evil, because they were created to have demonic spirits on them. That's what the Moors told you. Moors said we got to go into Europe and we got to clean this shit up. They knew back in Kemet what happened. These are Moors documents. We got to go into Europe and put melanin into this goddamn thing. If we don't, because we're going to sleep. As a people, as Africans, we're going to sleep, we're going to get dumber. If we don't put melanin in this thing, they'll murder us all before we wake back up. These are Moor scripts. They'll murder us all before we wake back up. But we don't put melanin in this beast. That's their writing. That this savage will kill us all. Go ahead, Joe.
As we literally get to wind up with today's
conversation. Much love, family.
Ricky also said, Rita answered you, said this money got effed up in the US bank. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I figured that. I figured something happened, Rick. I hope everything's good. We didn't care about that, man. We just always loved you. Wasn't a part about that. Because you always gave when you could. You would give more than enough. So we understood. I said, hey, something must have happened with Rick. So we never held that against you, because you was always donating, Rick. I was like, damn. Ricky was donating every week, guys. Ricky was donating every week like clockwork. Shit was crazy. I was about to say, Rick, hey, that's too much.
For giving us KFC money, we had lots of KFC lights maintained, So for those who do send, of course, that if they can, we do appreciate you, of course, as well. But anyway, this is where we come to the end of today's conversation. I hope you have learned once again something. I hope you get to share with your family and friends. Subscribe. If it is your first time, hit the like button kindly. Just hit the like button. Even if YouTube always deduct the like button.
Hit the like button, family. Much love. If you can donate, please donate to the Cash App or to the website. I got to call the bank. They cut off the damn TV. I gotta call them tomorrow morning. I keep forgetting. They cut I can't pay my TV money. They keep refusing to pay my damn bills. I gotta call them directly. Shit. I know what it is. The cats. They don't want our TV on like that. Cause they ain't like the money ain't there. They keep not accepting the money. It's crazy. Anyway, go ahead.
We will take away those hearts if they don't stop messing with us, But anyway, much love, family. Have yourselves a beautiful day. See you guys, of course, tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on the media of the 21st century. This has been the Africa Today show. Ciao.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.